So Bree's car, if you've seen it, has a mono wiper, or we call it the Uni-Wipe. When we first got it, the far driver's side, this side from where we are, it was seized. Just the pin, the slider, it was all seized. The whole wiper linkage, everything barely moved. So we removed it, adjusted all of the mechanics in there, and got the wiper to stop in the middle and then sweep full left and right. And so for now, the wiper has been in its normal position, which is right off of this post here, and then has gone straight up from there. So it's always sat a little bit towards the driver's side. We've always wanted to put it dead center, and that is what we're doing today. So up until this point, I had removed all of the far driver's side of the mechanism, like the arm and the pivot and everything were off of that side. I left the mount still on, so I had 1, 2, 3 mounting positions, like the OEM stock ones. And today, we're going to have a look at this guy. This is what's left of our mechanism right now. So the one remaining arm, this thing just goes in circles. And then this thing just reciprocates back and forth, going through and making this guy move. So the game plan is to mount this up under here, somewhere around this area, with this arm moving straight out to the side. I think it'll sit back a bit. We'll weld brackets from there over to here, probably another one over to this side, and up underneath here there's a whole bunch of studs. Actually, isn't that right on that? Perfect. We can use that guy, a couple more mounting locations, and this one will be just mounted independently on its own somewhere around there. So then the swing arm has enough room that it can still move back and forth in the back of there. It's going to come across here, and the motor and the rest of the transmission are going to be back here. It's kind of the game plan. Let's mount it all up and let's get the proper Uni-Wipe going. So for mocking this guy up, we want this arm to stick almost straight out. This is steel on the end. The rest of this is cast aluminum, so at least I can weld to this guy. This will sit on a slight angle. It's not exactly a 90-degree from this surface here. It sits back on a slight angle. I'll have to cut a bit of the casting off of this side, maybe a bit into this big steel washer, and then it'll sit just a little bit lower, about in that far, down under there. Find our angle, and yeah, there's a nice hole there. Might cut that off and make a hole further in, closer to the firewall. I think it'll work. So I'll trim a bit of this casting off the top here, just so it sits a little tighter into the body of the car. The other thing I didn't mention too is this arm in the back, the pivot arm for the wipers. We're going to trim a little section out and weld it shorter so that we get a farther throw with the wiper itself. Being down to one wiper, hopefully the motor and transmission have no issue doing that. But that's the game plan, because as it sits right now, the wiper doesn't quite extend far enough to left and right. I mean, it does, but if we put a bigger arm on it, like a bigger wiper arm, and shorten this, it should cover more of the window. So that's also the game plan. Shorten this arm, give us a little bit more wiper throw. And this is going to be purely trial and error, because I'm just going to cut a small, maybe 1/8 piece out of there or less, tack it back on, and we will try it and see if the wiper is moving the way we want it to. But yeah, there is that.
Thank you.
Alright, cut down. Bracket will sit nice and tight in there. Sit back on a slight angle. Actually, with this arm cut down, that really frees up the back area as well too. Should be nice and free. We'll make a couple brackets off of here. One straight out to that ledge and one straight back, I guess. Drill this out first though. Alright, with that bolted into place, the next step here is we need to make sure the pitch is proper on this thing. We don't want to put it all together and have the wiper doing weird stuff, so just from looking down the outside, a couple pieces of steel. If I lay this on the old one, it's not too bad. It's a little bit further down. Actually, compare the two here. Just sitting okay. So apparently that's it. Okay. Bring that across to there. Kind of like so. Oh man. It lines up nicely. Probably just trim this off. Weld this onto there, and that's our first bracket. Probably do one directly from the top. Get a bit of an angle to this side. Something like that as well. So let's get our first one going. Just like so. We have got it sitting in place. Our one bracket is vice gripped into place. Just about to weld. There we are. Weld across the bottom here. And that's it so far. After that, we'll probably put another one across to here somewhere, but for now we'll weld this into place and yep. Well, here we are. This is our first step of the bracket. It's held together. Metal was a lot thinner than I thought in this area, so adjust it for the next one, but that is good enough. I'll mount it back up and probably I don't know, I might build right off of here. Maybe. We'll see. On to the next. Okay, as the centerpiece is inside drying, we are going to mock up the motor and the, I don't know, what's it called, rotating arm? That little guy. So the thought is, bolt this tab in, sitting where it should. This guy will sit in there on an angle-ish like that. I'm going to build another tab to go right from here, maybe to this flat surface. Might work out all right. Yeah, something like that. And go from there.